introduction of myself. So I'm Ankita. As you know from yesterday, I am the events head and the chief growth officer at Beverage Trade Network. I finished my MBA a year ago. I'm a high sustainability and AI advocate. So I make sure that whosoever I speak, I try to gather their insights on sustainability and AI. And that's something because I myself is a tech enthusiast, and I want to make sure that how to make my work easy and faster. I'm also an animal person, so I have my 4 rescue dogs, which I miss when I travel during the event. And I'm a sort of an athlete, so badminton is my go-to, but I don't mind if I'm participating in a marathon or a golf. So before we begin with AI, which is definitely a nerdy topic to begin your day with, let me ask a couple of questions. How many of you are aware about the CrowdStrike outage that happened on Friday? Can you just raise your hand? Okay. How many of you are aware that it's a part of Microsoft software and not a hardware? Amazing. How many of you are aware of the fact that it happened when they were sending an update to the main server and not to 8.6 million users around the world? Amazing. And the last question, how many of you know that there is a theory in which they're already designing an AI software to make sure this does not happen in the future? Just one. Very good. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is not advocating AI in the sense that you should be using it, but how human can use AI to make sure that they can run and do their things faster and a bit easier way, where we increase productivity. Last year when I had the same topic, it was kind of in one-way communication to that AI should be everywhere, but over the year where I have seen a lot of companies executing it, it's more of AI and human together. When we launched AI last year or before that, it was all about, is AI is going to replace the jobs? Are we just thinking of putting some systems into the process which is simply just going to replace human? But that is not the fact. A lot of companies took this step, oh, I don't need a content writer. I can just use ChatGPT to generate content. But after 1 year, or maybe within 6 months, I'm sure they were pretty much aware that without human driving ChatGPT, nothing is going to be possible. One more question before we start. How many of you know ChatGPT? I'm sure everyone in the room. How many of you know the full form of ChatGPT? Oops. All right. So ChatGPT stands for Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer. And one last question. How many of you know that ChatGPT has a button called Explore GPTs? Amazing. And the button gives you more than 100 softwares that you can use for image, productivity, research, analysis, everything. All you need to do is go on your ChatGPT, look on the left side, it says Explore GPTs, click on it, and your work is all done. So what, according to me, is AI? I think AI is something which helps you to think, learn, and perform your task. Nothing more than that. We have been hearing a lot of buzzwords all across the world. I think Pinterest came with a huge bang. Clubhouse, unnecessary music and conversation that we have been hearing of multiple people. We wanted to get into Clubhouse. We were waiting for somebody to admit it into Clubhouse, but it's all gone. What is working and what is there? E-commerce, yes, it stayed. Social media, yes, big time. I think it stayed, it's working. Big data, yes. Blockchain, not really. Not have been seeing anything lately out there. Cryptocurrency, not much. Marketing automation, yes. NFTs, oh, again, came big, nothing happened, nothing really changed. Digital shelf, yes. Generative AI, yes. So all of you in the room, AI has been there since decades. What we are talking in today is, what is generative AI? So let me differentiate this. AI is that works behind your computer and says, oh yeah, this is a truck. Oh yes, this is an image. Generative AI is going to take input, read data, and produce and create things. It creates For example, it can produce a recipe for you. It can create a label for you. So we are talking very different from what is AI and what is generative AI. What we see is till 2017, I think AI has been performing a little bit below the average human skills. But after 2017, with change in algorithm, it has started perform better than a human average. So I think that is what everybody is seeing. It's one of the tools. So for example, ChatGPT is the perfect example because a lot of people still think it's a synonym to generative AI, but it's not. But it is one of the fastest app that reached 200 million users in the shortest period of time. I think when I was a kid, and I'm sure most of you were, when we used to think of what is AI, how it's going to look, it used to be something like this. We always figured it out, oh, something fancy is going to show up. But what exactly it is screens. Not beautiful, but I'm sure much productive and much easier. Just a filler. Not much I'm going to take on this slide. So I know Pam was there last year. So a couple of things we already discussed last year, and I just want to go for step 2 instead of just telling you how to use AI, how to motivate yourself to use AI, how to implement it into your company, what you should think when you talk about AI in your company, et cetera, et cetera. But these are a couple of points which I would say as an individual. You can start yourself. You can start a couple of apps. You can see what are the apps which are there. For example, this Explode GPT is a huge, huge thing, which is so underrated because people just don't know. We just go on the screen, we just type what we want, but we never explore the website. You can start with a goal, see whatever in your company, what are the different processes. You can just take a process and see, is there any AI that can help me with this process? If yes, start playing with it. We have to understand AI is not going to work for you till you do not provide inputs. On the ChatGPT, if your prompt is not right, let me tell you, you will just get a generic result with 10,000 people also get it. How to make it customized is giving it a proper prompt. And working on the prompt is working on yourself with AI. Start small, so just take one app and start with it. Be patient, as I said, it might just take 10 times for you to give input and prompts to an app to get the right results that you need. And last is get creative. So don't risk yourself into getting into AI. Don't invest a lot of money in the apps which are going paid in the market. Just start becoming creative. So today I have a couple of good examples. So I wanted to put case studies here so you know what other people are doing. And if it fits to what you can do, I think that makes a lot of sense. So Whiskey Exchange has used AI to design labels for 12 bottles of Glenlivet, which is a luxury collection. And one more quick example, I'll come back to the screen as well again. NanoFizz, which is Europe's first AI-generated RTD cocktail. But the story behind both the cases is, when we talk about the Whiskey Exchange and we talk about Europe's first AI-generated, both cases have used in their NPD, which is new product development, machine learning, and human skills. So for example, in Euro first AI-generated RTD, they used AI for naming, for labeling, and for designing. But for the recipe, they used experts as fruit winemakers. So as I said, initially it was a lot of just AI, only AI, but no, that is not how it's going to function. It has to be machine learning along with the human skills. One more good example is, how many of you know ProWine? I think pretty much, yeah? So 2 new AI wines from Wine of Moldova were launched in ProWine. This is Robert Joseph, who's author and educator and consultant as well. And he said that this is very interesting. So I want all of you to go back and read about these 2 wines, because these 2 wines have been generated through AI, and AI has performed every function in the process. That means from vinification to harvesting, to labeling, to communication, to designing. Everything is done by AI. So it's one of the beautiful, beautiful example and amazing, I would say, an execution which is being done by Wine of Moldova, because they wanted to set in benchmark to how good and in a best way they can play with AI. But there's one interesting spoiler here, which is not spoiler actually, but at the end of this session, there were, I think, 60 or 50 or 60 people sitting in the room, and they did a masterclass. So Robert Joseph was the one who did the masterclass. And they asked one question at the end of the sheet that, do you want your wines still to be made by AI or human-made? And the majority said human-made. So I think it's not, I'm sure that there would be a couple of them who still vouched for the wines generated by AI, but then there's still a huge gap in customizing or making it so close that it almost tastes like and it almost perform how human makes it. Another very good example of Sapporo breweries. So Sapporo breweries, they partnered with IBM Japan, and they have produced this Okate Umesar salty plum, which is out for sale in July itself. So they launched it in Japan in 2023, and I think since July it has been in the market. What they have done is they have created an app that's called N-Wing Star. And this app is actually an AI system that creates new product. So basically, they have a new product development team, which every time while creating a new beer in the market, they study products. So for example, for this, they studied 1,200 product formulation. They studied 700 raw material in 170 of their products. And this is how they have launched this entire beer in the market. So it's a very fascinating case study. You can just all go back. So like this, there were almost like 11 to 12 that I came across, which are in the market where it's going to the consumer. We are just not talking about them getting researched or getting analyzed or still in the lab. These are actually reaching the end consumers. So there are very good case studies, which I'm sure you can read and see that most of them, I would say 80% of them, are still using AI for label designing. So I think there are still easier way where you do not want to go into the winemaking process, where you do not want to set up a lab, where you do not want to have a machine or a robots to help you with vinification or anything, but you are going easy. You're taking it easy and making it less risky. That is labeling design. So what are the things that you can do in your winery? And I'm sure most of it also replicates to when we talk about a distillery or a brewery. Content. That's an easy way to start with AI. There are so many free tools, there are so many apps out there that you can easily start your AI research or your AI journey with. Images, again, as I said, use this Explore GPT. It gives you image generator. Give it a prompt. Okay, create a vision board for me. I want a Mercedes. I want to go for cherry blossom in Japan. It will give it to you. So create your vision boards. Simple examples. Coding, I think still easier, still a lot, I think a time-taking process for a lot of companies. Start with coding. All these apps, simple, you can use them. What I would suggest is a couple of apps are free, a couple of apps give you a trial period where you can try it before you purchase it, and then a couple of goes for the buying part as well. Customer service, I think this is a big, I would say an opportunity for a small winery where they are just one or two people in the winery and they still want a 24/7 customer service. And they still have the frequently asked questions in their hand. All they want is it reaches the customers at the right time when it is being asked. So I think customer service, again, I would say is a huge playground that everybody can start playing in. Apart from that, label and packaging design, as I said, read a lot of case studies, see what they have been doing, see. So all I said was a one-sided thing, so this has been launched, this is in the market, this is what they have done. Now we also have to see how it is being taken by consumers. So you have to read the other side of the stories as well. So make sure that you also follow these companies and see, are they producing any data or any report where they know that, oh, how these 2 AI wines generated by Wine of Moldova is doing in the market. But yes, label and packaging design for sure, social media analysis. So we all have social media in our system. Let AI create reports for you. So I don't know how many of you are aware of this fact, but AI is integrated in all the social media. If you're using Instagram, it says, why don't you start using Made with AI? In LinkedIn, if you write something, it says, why don't you write with AI? Start using it. The idea is it's not going to kill what you as an individual wants to put it out, but let it help you, let it design, let it put a paragraph for you, and see that, does it make easy, does it just sounds like a computer is writing it, which I'm sure half of the ChatGPT's articles which comes out, you can clearly differentiate what is ChatGPT and what is human. But let it work for you. Let it at least make a couple of things easier for you. Supply chain optimization, recommendation systems, pricing optimization tools, and mobile marketing. So there are tons and tons of apps. You just have to think of a process that you want to convert into AI, look for the app, and I'm sure there are many in the market. Couple of, again, very interesting and big examples, I would say. AB, we all know AB InBev. What they have done, they have partnered with Maven Wave, and it's an old story now. When we talk in AI, it's an old story. So what they have done is they have partnered with Google to understand their customer segmentation. So for example, if I'm talking about San Francisco, I want to know that if I'm selling something at this price, which are the customers located in which area of San Francisco that are going to buy it. So what they have done, they have collected the data of their customers based on where they are residing, what they drink, what is their taste, what is the limit that they purchase, what are the money that they spend, what are the days that they come in, etc. So it's a customer segmentation that they have done with Google, and it's called Maven Wave. Diageo, what's your whiskey? So I think a very interesting mobile marketing experience. If you don't have, go through it. It collects a lot of data. It asks questions, but once you answer those questions, it's almost fit in the memory, and it starts suggesting you. So again, a very good example to read the data and then predict what the customer will come and look for. Heineken, a nice partnership with Walmart. So they have done shelf reading. So if somebody is picking a 6-pack on Friday, how the person goes at the shelf and decides to buy a Heineken compared to what if the person is picking it on Monday, or what if he doesn't pick Heineken and picks a competitor brand. So it's all about expression reading. It's all about what they do, and it's all about reading the psychology of the person that goes behind, in front of the shelf. So how do they react? What do they see? Do they see the price first, or do they just come and make a decision, oh, I want this, and I'm going to go with this? So this is, again, a very nice example of the companies that are doing and using AI. What are the startups? So these are very good startups. They have been in the market for more than, I think, 4 to 5 years. Good startups to go and see what they do. Alfred is there. Tastery, I'm sure Vivino, all of us knows. So it's an online wine marketplace, and again, it helps people to buy the right wine. All of these are going to take your data. They are going to read you before suggesting you. So I'm sure that, and that is what we want AI to do at the end. We want AI to not just assume and presume. We want AI to read the data and give us decisive reports, give us something where we can make decisions on. This is part 2, which I'm not taking today, but I've been talking to, for example, my recent interaction was with Carissa Cruz. She is the president of Sonoma Wine Grape Growers, and I just asked her a very simple question we were talking about sustainability, and I just asked her that, what about AI? And she said, I'm using it every time I get a chance. And she has wonderful examples of using it in Vineyard. So I'm just putting it out because I'm yet to do this research, but these are also great scopy areas where people are started using AI. Let's not confuse ourselves with AI and technology again. There's a very thin line between both of these big separate segments. But I would say that all the past things that I've said, that how you can use it, the easier way to use it is this. So start with these. These are the perfect examples where you can actually, being small, being medium, you can start everything that you want from day one.